Unit 2 Human Body Chapter 4 The Nervous System Important terms: beverages, a special drink other than water. Antiseptic, a substance that prevents the growth of disease-causing microorganisms. Coordinate, regulate or control. Voluntary, one's own free will. Pigmentation, coloring matter. The nervous system. The nervous system is made up of the brain, the spinal cord, and thousands of nerves. The brain. How do you remember the way to your friend's house? Where do dreams come from? Why do your eyes blink? Your brain is in charge of all these activities. The brain is the control center of the nervous system. It has three major parts: cerebrum, cerebellum, and brainstem. All these parts work together. Cerebrum is the biggest part of the brain. It is the thinking part of the brain and controls the voluntary muscles, the ones that move when you want them to. When you are thinking hard, you are using your cerebrum. Your memory lives in cerebrum. Thus, cerebrum controls our ability to think, learn, decide, remember, dream, and feel. It also receives and interprets information from our sense organs. Cerebellum is at the back of the brain, below the cerebrum. It coordinates muscular activities and is responsible for balancing the body. Because of your cerebellum, you can stand upright, keep your balance, and move around. Brainstem or medulla lies below the cerebrum and in front of the cerebellum. It connects the rest of the brain to the spinal cord. It controls breathing, digestion, and blood circulation. It also controls our involuntary muscles like heart and stomach. Factoscope. The word cerebellum comes from the Latin word that is little brain. The spinal cord. The spinal cord is a long bundle of nerves inside the spinal column and the vertebrae that protect it. It is about 43 cm long in adult women and 25 cm long in adult men. The vertebral column is a collection of bones, backbones, that houses the spinal cord. Messages travel from the brain to the spinal cord and then to all parts of our body. Similarly, incoming messages enter the spinal cord from all parts of our body and then travel up to our brain. The nerves. Nerves are bundles of nerve cells spread throughout the body. All parts of the nervous system contain certain cells called nerve cells or neurons. Each nerve cell has a cell body. Small fibers called dendrites come out from the cell body. A long fiber called axon extends from one end of the cell body. Axon carries signals from the brain to the spinal cord, and dendrites carry information back to the brain. Nerves are of three types: sensory nerves, motor nerves, and connecting nerves. Sensory nerves carry signals from the sense organs to the spinal cord and then to the brain. These signals include temperature, smell, color, etc. Motor nerves carry message from the brain and spinal cord to the muscles and glands. These messages tell the muscles and glands to act. Connecting nerves pass the messages between sensory nerve cells and motor nerve cells. Reflex action. What do you do if you accidentally touch a very hot cup of tea? You withdraw your hand immediately without even thinking. Such actions that happen automatically without our thinking are called reflex action. In the reflex action, the brain has no role. Thus, only the spinal cord is involved. When you touch a hot object, the sensory nerves convey the signal of the high temperature, hotness to the spinal cord. This signal is then passed to the motor nerves through the connecting nerves. The motor nerves carry the instruction to the muscle of the hand to withdraw the hand. Blinking of eyes and withdrawing of the foot when you step on a sharp object accidentally are other examples of reflex action. Be good to your brain. Eat healthy food that contains potassium and calcium, the two minerals that are important for the nervous system. Get a lot of playtime, exercise. Wear a helmet when you ride your motorcycle or any other two-wheeler. Use your brain by doing challenging activities such as puzzles, reading, making art, etc. That gives a nice workout to your brain. Our sense organs. The eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin are our sense organs. Eyes, the organ of sight. We see through our eyes. It helps us to get information about activities going in the world around us. The eyelids and the eyelashes protect our eyes from dust. The black spot in the center of eye is called pupil. Light enters our eyes through pupil. The colored circle around the pupil is called iris. The amount of light that passes through the pupil is controlled by the iris. The pigmentation of the iris gives color to eyes. The optic nerve carries messages from the eye to brain. How do we see? When we see something, what we are seeing is actually reflected light. Light rays bounce off objects and enter our eyes. Protection of eyes. Clean your eyes regularly. Do not read in moving car or bus. Do not read in very dim or very bright light. Do not watch television for long. You must sit at least 6 feet away from it. Do not rub your eyes with dirty hands. Ears, the organ of hearing. We hear through our ears. Our ears take vibrations and turn them into something our brain can understand. An ear has 3 major parts: outer ear, middle ear and internal ear. Naya page. The external ear consists of the pinna, auditory canal and eardrum. The sound waves collected by the pinna travel through the auditory canal and strike the eardrum. The middle ear is filled with air and has 3 bones in it. It transfers sound from the ear to fluid inside the internal ear. It has an internal organ called cochlea. This organ helps to take the vibrations and transmit them into electrical signals for the nerve. This nerve sends those signals to the brain. Protection of ears. Never hear loud music. Never use a matchstick or a hairpin to clean your ears. Consult a doctor in case of an earache. Nose, the organ of smell. We use our nose to smell things. There are millions of tiny little hairs inside our nose. These hairs trap dust particles that enter our nose and filter the air. These hairs are connected to small sensors which send signals to our brain about smell via the olfactory nerve. We smell things when they emit small molecules that float in the air and end up in our nose. Smelling helps us in many ways. It makes our food taste better. It also warns us about bad things like rotten food or smoke from fire. Protection of nose. Keep your nose clean. The hair in your nose filters dirt, so always breathe through your nose. Do not prick your nose with any sharp object. Do not use a dirty hanky to wipe your nose as it may cause infection. Tongue, the organ of taste. We use our tongue to taste things. The tongue uses taste buds or sensor cells to determine the type of food and sends taste signals back to our brain. The tongue can taste 4 different flavors: bitter, sour, salty and sweet. When we eat something, the flavor comes from a combination of taste and smell. Protection of tongue. Avoid eating very spicy food. Use a tongue cleaner to clean the tongue. Avoid drinking very hot beverages. Factoscope. The tongue is made up of a bunch of muscles. The average length of a human tongue is 4 inches. Skin, the organ of touch and feel. The skin is an organ for touching and feeling. It covers our entire body. It absorbs sunlight for producing vitamin D and heat. It protects our internal organs from germs and dirt. It keeps good things like water and blood inside our body. There are millions of nerve endings attached to the skin which help us feel heat, pain, pressure, and cold. Our skin regulates our body temperature by controlling blood flow and sweat. The skin has 3 primary layers: epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis. Protection of skin. The dirt and sweat should be removed from the skin regularly. An antiseptic should be applied to a cut or scratch to avoid infection. Teacher's note. Explain to students the function of different nerves in our body. Fact file. 1. There are millions of nerve cells in the human body. This number even exceeds the number of stars in the Milky Way. 2. In humans, the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body, while the left side of the brain controls the right side. 3. The weight of the brain in an average adult male is 1,375 grams, while in female it is 1,275 grams. 4. Just like some people cannot see or hear, some people cannot smell. This is called anosmia. 5. The average length of a giraffe's tongue is 19